the Juxtaposition Podcast.
Speaking of, this podcast would be successful if we can really dig into and articulate how we can make a house a home. What I mean by that is for folks who are with their partners and it's finding it difficult to create those boundaries, to continue to maximize your success individually. The guys are going to describe to you how they've navigated achieving their goals while still cohabitating with their queens in a very productive way. So with that being said, let's dig right in. So Cleveland, I'll start with you. When it comes to like sharing space and cohabitating, how do you balance building together while also building individually for your goals professionally, side projects, what have you?
Man, I think I communicate what I want to do. Like, and well, honestly, it started before.
Are you telling Black women what to do now? I'm not sure.
No. I was gonna say, honestly,
careful.
Don't put those words in my mouth, brother. Nah, man. Like honestly, the conversation started before cohabitation. So like she knew what my goals were in life before we started living together. So now I'm literally just putting in the work to make that happen. So it didn't blindside her. Like we get married and I'm like, yo, I want to be a professional comedian or something crazy. And she's like, what?
Trying to be a rapper?
Yeah, I'm trying to drop my mixtape. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, but like, so she knew what I was trying to do before she even married me. So now that we're cohabitating, it's like, okay, well, here's the work that it takes to put in. And then honestly, it takes like understanding on her part to know that I need some time to myself in order to be able to study, in order to be able to practice and do the things that I do, or else it's never going to happen. So communication up front, even before cohabitation.
Can anybody else empathize with that? Like when y'all are working on your side projects, or I mean, James, you were in graduate school. Granted, that's a different thing because it's more structured. But like, how are you able to maintain your goals while also? Because I think you do a really great job of doing things with your wife. Like you are always doing something. Definitely. So how were you able to manage that balance?
So it does start with communicating, but I didn't plan on going to graduate school before I got married, so that was like a new thing. However, I guess it's more about me understanding who I'm with and my partner, right? So understanding my wife and how she is and how supportive she is, knowing what I want to do. So communicating what I wanted to do and just let her know my plan, because it did. Like I was going to class, I would leave work, and then I would drive an hour and a half to go to Philly to go to class 3 days a week. And I'm in class from like 6:15 to 9 o'clock, and I'm driving an hour and 20 minutes back home. So there's multiple days throughout the week where, I see you in the morning, then I basically see you come home. I come home at like 11 o'clock and you're about to go to sleep. So there's not much time there. So communicating what I'm going to do, my plan as to why I want to do this, right? Because it's not just like trying to build debt, because that's another conversation. Right. Because I have to take out some student loans, right? So once I communicated that, let her know what my plan was, not just for me though, how this was for both of us. Right. Because anything that I think you do or your partner does in a relationship that's going to last, or a serious relationship, this just can't just be about you, right? Even doing this podcast, right? Yes, it's time that I'm doing with my boys and we're hanging out and stuff like that. But there's still things that I'm doing here that can develop into things that's going to benefit my relationship as well.
Exactly.
So I'm always just coming back to that, and that's how it works out for me.
So you making sure to keep home as a central component for all that you do. So whatever you're doing outside will eventually may come back and contribute to the crib. I like that. I like that. Kev, how about you? I know that you also are one to have very much, very individualistic endeavors that kind of contribute to making you who you are. How are you able to balance progressing in your relationship while also taking care of yourself?
Well, you guys made a great point, because ultimately, when you're cohabitating with your spouse, and you're married, obviously, from the husband's perspective, it's not about you, right? And it's always great to check up on your spouse to see like where they are at, where they're mentally, stable, and kind of making sure and checking with them as frequently as possible, maybe once a week at the minimum, and figuring out ways that you can be a better husband or supporter or provider at that moment. because it changes. It can change every day. So, but it was with saying that too. I think, I am a person who tries to always better myself in different ways. So while I'm being busy doing that, I'm only bettering myself for my household, right? And
Exactly.
that's the mentality, right? For me, so we do a pretty good job, being busy. So when the opportunity comes for us to kind of reconnect, which is at dinner time, and I know, and then,
Right.
and that's the time we sit down, eat, we talk, catch up, and that's the moment I can ask, how can I help you be a better person, or how vice versa, and
Right.
and that check-in is very important. So I definitely would say the frequent check-ins definitely help balance
Yeah.
the energy of the relationship, making sure that you can give a little more or a little less depending on what's needed.
I like that. I think all of y'all have a common theme, but I'm gonna go to my man CEO to ask this question. I think he may have some good insight. What are the challenges? Because I know Zoe's life is you wake up at 5 a.m., you might get home at 7, 8 p.m. What are the challenges in maintaining the status of your relationship, trying to progress while also doing your own thing and building the business from the ground up?
Well, all those things you said is exactly that. You're building the business from the ground up is a challenge, even if you was by yourself.
Right.
So,
True.
like, that's one of those things. I would say the challenge is finding. See, all right. So
hold on.
I swear to God, I was like, he is slurping up that drink so hard right now.
She said like a Slurpee. You got a Slurpee.
I tried to pop back into position, like y'all wasn't talking about me.
When I tell you I love y'all, son, it's for more.
First of all, I hate all y'all.
I heard James say, "Hold on." I'm like, let me get back right.
I can't stand
yo. Oh my God, son. Oh my God.
Y'all got me on that one.
I tried. They're more like, hold on. I'm like, word up. Like,
I couldn't let it slide.